anything else. And I think we should begin to, if we have any courage, and people like you, and this kind of platform and this kind of discussion has the platform to tell the policymakers, for God's sake, students, I mean, what do you mean mother tongue? I mean, I have never been able to understand what is meant by mother tongue. I wish somebody could explain it to me. What is mother tongue? Mother tongue is, yes. So if you say the complex repertoire, verbal repertoire that the child brings of the neighborhood, of the extended family, which may be highly complex, which may not be definable in terms of a language. That's the issue. That the mother tongue is not definable in terms of a language. Okay. So I think, and why do we need three language formula? I mean, what has changed? Nothing has changed. It has failed everywhere. In the past 60 years, it has not succeeded anywhere. It will fail again. The issue of language policy should be decided bottoms up, not top down. You see, at different places, people need different kinds of languages, different kinds of linguistic behavior, different kinds of, pedagogical systems. So it should somewhere, imagine I can't think of, imagine our speaker, for example. How many languages do you think he or she, or a Bodo speaker, how many languages do they end up learning by the time they reach English, in the college? This is three language, it's a 6 language formula for them. So let us not, and for the North, if you go in, I have said this again and again. You see, this was a compromise, okay? That North Indians would learn a South Indian language, and South Indians would learn Hindi. This never happened. Of course, for Northeast never existed for India. For 50, 60 years, Northeast was not there at all in the map. Nobody ever thought. For the tribal languages, there was only one person speaking in the Constituent Assembly debate. Only one person. And he kept shouting and nobody listened to him. Okay. So these are not on the map of India. So why should these people love India? I think they have no reason to. But for North and South, which are the main chunks, geographical chunks, it was patting each other's back. Okay. Now, what did they do? In the North, they said, yeah, we will learn 3 languages. We will learn our own language. We will learn Hindi and English. And then we will learn Sanskrit. So 3 language formula. 3 language formula, Hindi, English, Sanskrit. Nobody ever learned Sanskrit. Nobody ever learned English. And they never went past Hindi. Whatever little Hindi they knew already. All of us know this. Minus the handful which would have learned anyway. Okay. Right. What happened in the South? In the South, they said, why? We don't need to learn Hindi. We will not learn Hindi. Right? Those learned Hindi. Raghunathan may have learned Hindi. Some people in the South would learn Hindi because when they need a job, they will come Delhi for instrumental reasons. They will learn Hindi. Not because the government of India has asked them to learn Hindi. They learned Tamil and English. They're quite happy with that. And hundreds and thousands and millions of people in South India again learn 3 languages, their own regional language, and then their own home languages, that Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and then English. So, I think we should get out of this straight jacket of mother tongue and 3 language form. This is what I would say.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Very well said, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We will try the curriculum, sir.
Professor Agnihotri, I am Mahendra Mishra.
Hi, Mahendra. You should not be asking anything. You know it all.
No, I have a little question, but I have got a lot of answers from your deliberations. It ignited me to ask you one question, that is, how language can be a substantive element of the goal itself, because as of now, we are using language as a tool of communication or for medium of instruction. But the Sustainable Development Goal, up to 2030, they are planning to make it language as a goal. So what do you mean by language as a goal? That I wanted to listen from you, just 1 or 2 sentences. You have already told a lot of things, but
You see,
this set of questions, language as a goal.
Where is it in the NEP 2020 language
No, no,
as a
no.
goal?
It is in Sustainable Development Goal, SDG.
Oh, well, I don't know what sustainable development goals they are going to make. You see, my problem, Mahindra, has been, and as you know, I mean, that's why I said, why should you ask? My problem has always been that we do not ask the right kind of questions. Therefore, we do not get the right kind of answers. As simple as that. We just don't. We don't want to understand what language is all about. Language is not about communication. For God's sake, language is not about communication. You can communicate in millions of other ways. Language is your mind. Language is your being. Language is your becoming. It's constitutive. It's. I mean, tell me something that you can do without language. You are thinking of a painting, language is going on in your mind. You're thinking of a dance, language is going on in your mind. You are trying to do mathematics, language is going on in your mind. I mean, you are not free from language. I mean, Wittgenstein gave us the last word on that. Let's not minimize that. And that language is not a language, you know. For linguists, yes. For people like me, or Shailendra, yes, we have to get our salary, so we write grammars, and we write things, so we get our money. Yeah, so that's okay. For Patanjali, yes. For Panini, yes. For Chomsky, yes. For formal grammarians, yes. But not for NCRT, not for, MHRD, not for, what we need is multilinguality. Yeah, we accept the formal, we get their benefit. I mean, linguists give us very nice things, but that's okay. I mean, they cannot address the issue of language being constitutive, the language being, being and becoming, and language never being static, language being fluidity, language being, I mean, I have, so common, I have so often said, give me one sentence that's a Hindi sentence. Give me one sentence that's an English sentence. There's not. It has to come from somewhere. The same thing is true of Angami or Ao or Santhali. Things have to come from somewhere. Yeah. Anybody else? Thoma.
I invite others. Any other questions? Any other questions from anyone?
I ask a question, sir?
Yes, Surjit.
Am I audible?
Yes, Surjit. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, as you mentioned about languages, you said there is nothing called a languages. Can we say that not giving opportunity to express the language that is meaningful for a person is also attempt to deny the epistemic sovereignty, not permitting the person to grow as a fledged human being. It also means that we are denying the persons to have space for generating knowledge by himself or herself. Am I audible, sir?
I could not, Surjit, I could not hear you clearly. But if you are saying that, something like a language is required for
No, sir. I'm
sovereignty.
not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that we are not permitting children to learn the language that is compatible with them, the language they are associated in their immediate environment. Are we not denying the right to generate knowledge by themselves? Are we not denying them critical consciousness? That way, we're not denying them the right to become a fledged human being.
Yes. I know.
In that case,
if we deny them the languages, if we deny them the languages of their environment, yes, we deny them the right of being human. Yes. If that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I request those who want to ask a question, in case there is a technical internet issue, you can just mute your video so that your audio is clearer.
Yes.
Mr. Toksham, are
Yes,
you?
I
Shall I?
would like, I would like, people who have not talked to me earlier, Mahendra or Rajesh or, many people have talked to me
Yes, sir.
earlier and we are friends for decades
Yes,
now. But
yes,
if
sir.
other people have questions, they're certainly most welcome. I
Any
really,
other questions? I invite other speakers also to say a few words. Professor Sachdeva. And another, can I just, sir, there's another question from Professor Mahendra Kumar Mishra. He wanted
yes.
to ask how language can be a substantive element of the goal in itself. It means how a state can take language as a goal and not as a means only. He
Yeah,
has that question.
Melissa,
I
that
wanted
one.
to ask,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want, I wanted to
Meli-
ask how language can be a substantive element of the goal in itself.
Yes, sir.
How a state can take language as a goal and not as a means only. I try, Mahindra, I don't really understand that, but if by this, if we can, if we can interpret this for our own sake as sort of saying that the voice of every child is important, then I'm quite happy with it. In that sense, language should be a sustainable goal, yes. But if they mean anything else, I don't understand. I really don't understand. I'm sorry.
I request Professor Sachdeva, sir, if you
Yeah.
can come online and say a few words and give your observation. Professor Sachdeva, yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Sir,
And
yes.
now I and Prabhakar know each other too well. I have no questions. But I only want to add a little bit about his telling us that languages are resources. And we are talking in the context of minorities being smaller in numbers in some sense, demographic construct. To my mind, the smaller the language, the more precious it ought to be. I mean, if you're going to, I think in terms of, when you say somebody is going to just vanish on Mother Earth, there are only two Andamani speakers left. Each one of them must be worth $1 million to me. I mean, billions. So they are the last repositories of people who I can be with and get to understand and be with. So to my mind, the smaller you are, the more precious you are as of now to think of. That's the little point that I want to add to this discourse
Yes.
on minority languages.
I know. I agree. I agree with Rajesh. Only stopped writing because you can't go on repeating yourself. But I have written several pieces about the myths and stereotypes associated with languages and with language learning and about languages, about classical languages. That was another question asked about classical languages and foreign languages. There are many myths. So, one of the myths, example, is that if you spend too much time on the, let's say, the languages of the children, then the acquisition of, let us say, the target languages or the languages of work will get adversely affected. Now, this is a myth, this is a stereotype. You see, sign language must have added something to your other languages. May not be, obviously so, but definitely internally so. It enlarges your being. Similarly, if a child's Bhojpuri or Maithili or Maghai or Bodo or Santali or Mahasui or Pahadi or Chambyali is given some recognition in the class, and I have shown variety of ways in which how it can be done, then that child, that student will learn Hindi and English better, not worse. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
I think Dr. Ramakant, hello, am I audible? I think what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
suggesting is that diversifying the content would actually lead to greater integration of coming together as a collective people with mutual respect and sense of feeling of equality,
Yeah.
or respecting one another. So you feel, things like even the classical language and all could become a component of ongoing language teaching. It doesn't have to be straight jacketed as a separate language and put out there as another choice or something. It could be integrated within the discourse on language, enrich the ongoing teaching and all that. So the whole idea of, I think there's very interesting
No,
questions
Rajesh, we can talk, I mean, we can always talk. But yes. Melissa, you see, I want to talk to Melissa more and to the,
please.
and to the NCRT and the NERIE and so on. You see, the point is that we need to come out of a paradigm. Okay. What is the paradigm? What is the paradigm? If I am wrong, please tell me. What is the paradigm at NCRT, or what is the paradigm at our SCRTs, or what is the paradigm in the schools, right? This is all sort of structured. And what is the structure? The structure is, I mean, NCRT, for example, is dictated by this paradigm, and it's not their fault. I mean, that was the paradigm. The paradigm is that there is a classroom and there is a teacher and there is a textbook and there is a language. Am I wrong, Melissa? You see, this is not, I mean, and education has to take place in this paradigm that you have a language, a textbook, a classroom, and a teacher sitting in front. A teacher, tell me ever, isn't it the case that 99.9% recurring teacher is in front of the classroom? Why? Are students important or teacher important? I mean, teacher can do a few things. There are hundreds of ways now. The pedagogical paradigms and the material production paradigms have changed. And alternative paradigms are available where the central actors are the learners, not the teachers. Please consider this when you are preparing materials and writing curricula and syllabi. Please consider this, that it is possible to create materials that would bring lots of languages in them rather than a language. It is possible to have transactional systems in the classroom which will bring, which will privilege the learners. We keep saying learner-centered, joyful activity. We don't do that actually. Nothing in our work is learner-centered actually. In the DPEP days, I remember there used to be an activity period, separate period, from the normal classroom. That is not what we want. We want that the whole paradigm should change. And if we change the whole paradigm, multiplicity. Yeah.
Melissa, can I have one question? Sir, this is Salendra speaking.
Hi, Shailendra. Hi. So good to hear you
Pranam, sir.
after such a long time. Huh?
Fine, fine. Yes, yeah.
Very good. Yeah, go ahead, Shailendra.
Yeah, as a student, I don't dare to ask a question, but it's a simple.
Oh,
You
no,
see,
no, you, why not?
we have talked about we have talked about languages or a language, individual, community, but where does nation stands? That has to be also debated.
Yeah,
So,
I,
what is your message
I
for the
knew,
nation?
I knew this was coming. I mentioned this in my talk. You see, briefly, you see, once again, there is a paradigm. Okay. Just as classroom is a paradigm, the whole, I said, independent of cartographers. I mean, what is nation state after all? I mean, is the concept of a nation state a valid concept anymore? I mean, you draw a few lines which are arbitrary and call yourself a nation. Yes, yes, we are a kind of, we have a culture. Yes, I am very proud of my ancient culture. Of course, I am. And but I don't think that because there is something called an Aryan culture, therefore there is no Dravidian culture, or therefore there is no Mayan culture, or therefore there is no Nagamese culture. No, that is not the point. The point is that we need to transcend if we are in education, we are not in nation, we are not in creating boundaries, right? We are into education which transcends the boundaries. Just as it transcends the boundaries of languages, it transcends the boundaries of nation states. So we need to transcend that, which does not mean that we will not be proud of India. We will be proud of India, okay? But we will be proud of India in being human beings, not in just being Indians, not in hating Chinese. Imagine, in NEP, you know, you get the Kasturi Rangan report, 600 pages, and Chinese is a part of it. And you get, 2020 NEP, draft 2020 NEP is, passed only by the cabinet. Chinese is removed. Don't you think that's a petty thing to do? You are having a small fight with China, yeah. You have been having, since the 60s, you are always fighting with China. Does it mean that you drop Chinese language and Chinese culture? No, I will not. I mean, Urdu displaced, huh? Why? Okay, Melissa, I have taken too much of your time, I think.
Thank you very much, sir. बहुत अच्छा.
Okay. Yeah, Melissa, I can't hear you.
Melissa, could you speak? Yeah. She's coming, sir. She's coming. Some technical in this one.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Melissa, unmute yourself.
Can I? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Melissa.
You have to unmute yourself, Melissa. You're muted. You're muted.
Hello? Sir?
Yeah.
Sir? Ma'am, you have a question. We're planning to wind. Can I ask a question?
Who?
A very quick question because we're planning to wind up the session, ma'am.
Sandhya?
Sir, just 1 minute. I just wanted to ask you, sir. So you said that we want the whole paradigm to change so far as the classroom transaction is concerned because teacher is always there in front of the student and she is the master of the class. So, when because now we are in teacher training organizations, we go for teacher training and all. So, do you think that there has to be some kind of, implications in teacher training, pre-service and in-service? So can I please guide us how to children, how can we prepare the teachers so that they will handle this situation, multilingual situation, bringing students' voices into the classroom, and they'll be able to do justice to whatever NEP has said and whatever sir you have suggested.
You see, Sandhya, I said right in the beginning that teachers don't have, I mean, if teachers know more languages, they are welcome, most welcome. But teachers don't have, they cannot. There will be 15 languages represented in the classroom and different varieties. They cannot know all the languages, of course not.
Yes,
But
sir.
they should know, they do need to undergo a training program of 6 months or a year, in the B.Ed program or in the M.Ed program, where they understand how to use languages of the students as resources. Yes. Now, when you say how to change the paradigm will change that the teacher initiates a small little thing. Let us say, initiates asking a Bhojpuri child, let us say, or let us say an Angami child to speak 2 lines poem or something, and tries to write it in Roman or Devanagari or whatever script is understood on the board. And then rest is left to the class. They do it in other languages. They do it in Ao, they do it in Nagamis, they do it in Hindi, they do it in English, they do all kinds of things. That is what I mean by teacher going at the back and also learning something in the process. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so that means we need to bring some course for the teachers to understand.
Yes.
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 Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, from on behalf of NERI, I will request that other speakers and participants, if we have other questions, we can continue in the second session. And now I would like to hand over to my colleague, Devi. She's also the coordinator of the seminar, to give the formal vote of thanks. And on from my side, thank you so much to each one of you coming online and offline. Sir, Professor Agnihotri, thank you so much for the wonderful insights that we have received from your talk. Thank you so much, and we will be communicating with you, and I hope you will log in with us for these 3 days also to be a part of the seminar. Thank you, sir. Dr. Saraj.
Yes.
Thank you, Melissa. It's my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks to this inaugural session. I'm extremely grateful to our director NCRT for sparing the time for today's inaugural session and set a tune on considering the issue of the issue of the majority within the system of minorities and the majorities, the problems of majorities. Even though it's counted as majority, the problems of intergenerational transfer, the requirement of the presently issues and all. Thank you, sir, for bringing that issue. My special thanks goes to, this is my sincere gratitude and thanks to Professor Ramakant Agnihotri. So I have been reading a lot about you. I'm hearing you many times with the NEP, and the kind of acceptance which you have, the kind of propositions which you are saying with the full confidence that language is not a language. Language is multilingual. Language is about becoming. Language is about evolving. Language is about something that go on changing with a complex repertoire in which the child goes on interacting with the system, with the society, and also this is something which we as educationists need to understand. We have, as you have said rightly, that perspective, there is something to be changed in the perspective. We need to really understand it and make other people understand it also. And the kind of multilinguality, sir, you have rightly addressed the kind of questions which we are facing in any of the program, in any of the training programs, in any of the material development process, that teachers don't know many languages. Yes, sir, you have answered the question rightly, that it is not something that teachers need to know all the languages which the children bring into the classroom, but evolving a strategy to make the classroom resource, the multilingual resources in the classroom to utilize in a better way, sir. This is a tap point which we will be taking, sir. We are grateful for considering, for showing us light on the issue that how multilinguality is to be used, the child's repertoire to be used to go for scientific inquiry, to enrich the system as in the classroom as such. Sir, thank you so much. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Bibo Thakur, Principal of NERIE. Sir, it is with your encouragement and support that we are able to hold the seminar today. And I'm very much grateful to all the lit speakers who have joined, who have spared their time, their valuable time on today's occasion to hear the speaker, the keynote speaker, Ramakant Agnihotri sir, and also Professor Rajesh Sachdeva, Professor S.K. Singh, Professor Meghanathan, Professor Sandhya Sahu, for interacting, for Professor Mahendra Mishra, for complementing, supplementing, and making us more clear on the views which has been put by Professor R.K. Agnihotri. I thank all the colleagues which is gathering here, Professor S.G. Roy, and all other professors, all other colleagues, seniors, which have joined offline, online for this important seminar. I do hope that this seminar will build some sort of understanding within the NCERT, outside the NCERT, among our colleagues. And also, my special thanks goes to the technical team. Without their support, we won't be able to hold the seminar in the position as we are having right now. I'm thankful to all the people involved online, offline, and supporting, the kind of overwhelming responses we have received from the participants of this seminar. I am thankful to all the delegates who have registered, who are going to present paper, and my special thanks goes to all the lit speakers, who will be delivering, who will be giving a direction on all the papers. And thank you, everyone. We will be logging in by 11:40. All the paper presenters for the first session, I request all the paper presenters, and Sailendra sir is already there. Sir, please be there by 11:30 for your speech. And all the speakers, all the paper presenters in the session 1, as we have scheduled. So we all will be logging by 11:40. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar,
sir. Namaskar,
Thanks.
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So I'm logging out. So I'm sort of switching, right?
Looking forward to you joining us for 3 days, sir. Thank you.
From time to time, I will.
Yes, sir. Please join us. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
We'll see you at 11:40. Okay, log off. Leave the meeting.
Are we supposed to log in again?
We use for logging in the same link.
So we log in again, huh?
Yes, sir. For
Okay.
session